So before we get into this episode, I want you guys to see this video. It's been going viral on X, and it was at a vigil for Aaron Bushnell held earlier this week in Portland, Oregon. It shows U.S. veterans sounding off with "Remember Aaron Bushnell, he is not alone," as they burn their uniforms in a burn barrel. Uh, it is very moving to see veterans standing up to protest the war and genocide in Gaza. Uh, Brandon, if you could play the clip right here.
Remember Aaron Bushnell! Remember Aaron Bushnell! He's not alone! He's not alone! Remember Aaron Bushnell! Remember Aaron Bushnell! He's not alone! He's not alone! Remember Aaron Bushnell! Remember Aaron Bushnell! He's not alone! He's not alone! Remember Aaron Bushnell! Remember Aaron Bushnell! He's not alone! He is not alone! Remember Aaron Bushnell! Remember Aaron Bushnell!
Now that you've seen that, just want to let you guys know I'm still following the Israeli-Palestine situation as best I can. I'm working on a timeline video that is supposed to be mine and your informational info dump to catch you up on the whole situation. And then we can start actually reporting on it. That is the plan going forward. Without further ado, let's get into the real video. Welcome back, Americans. My editor, Brandon, introduced this issue to me, and I spent a night researching it. This is the Kroger Albertsons merger. Just like with my last video, I crunched some numbers and did some research to try to get some information out as fairly as possible. I want to say I went into this thinking that these were the bad guys, but honestly, the information's so weird that it's hard to pick a side. I'll get into that more later. Let's start with the info dump. Back in 2022, Kroger announced it will merge with Albertsons in a $24.6 billion deal, sparking immediate controversy and unsettling their employees who might have concerns that they might lose their jobs as stores close and budget gets cut. They're worried this will create a monopoly that drives food prices up. There have been lawsuits and bills aimed at helping the future of Kroger and Albertsons employees, but they didn't go very far. Let's address this one bill that was almost put through the Californian Senate. This bill would have granted severance pay to dislocated employees. The bill was vetoed by Gavin Newsom. The reason stated was that there were already protections in place for dislocated employees, which is fair. Having passed the bill would have created a precedent that would inevitably affect other companies in the future. However, the already established protections stated were the WARN Act, making it so employees would have to give a 90 days notice of termination, and the existence of unemployment insurance, which to me, those aren't the greatest protections when you see something that might inevitably affect your job. I did some digging into California laws for unemployment insurance, and if you get laid off from the Albertsons location and manage to qualify for unemployment, the amount you would be paid would come out to $221 to $293 a week, assuming all employees work 40 hours a week, which is a big assumption since grocery stores are a common part-time job choice. For those wondering, this is based on your highest earning income quarter, and then roughly half of what your pay would be if you managed to have kept your job. So you take your year, your highest quarter, divide it in half. That's how much you get from unemployment pay. Anyway, that comes to $11.5K to $15K annual salary if you somehow manage to stay on unemployment for a whole year, which you probably won't. I don't think they even let you. But if you watched my last video, you know that that's not even considered a survivable wage. It's not even considered biological minimum. Long story short, as soon as you're worried about it, you should start looking for new employment. Whether that's right now, as I'm scaring the Jabibas out of you, or when you get that 90-day notice, or if you put it off right until you're actually unemployed, you should probably start looking for new options. But going on, this whole thing, you might want to hold off. This whole thing might be a huge misinformation campaign. Let's start with the claim that this would be a monopoly. Uh, the government defines a monopoly as when one firm has market power for a product or a service, and it has obtained or maintained that market power, not through competition on the merits, but because the firm has suppressed competition by engaging in anti-competitive conduct. Now, that could mean a lot, be interpreted in many different ways. Personally, if this merger is a monopoly, it is only a monopoly for the specific locations where Kroger and Albertsons are the only choice. Most places also have a Walmart, also have some other local grocery store. They operate in very different parts of the U.S., and if their territories overlap at all, it's very minimally. There is a definition for an illegal merger. An illegal merger is defined as when two companies join together in a way that might substantially lessen competition or tend to create a monopoly in a relevant market. And here is when reporting on this gets super hard, because everything from here is a buttload of hard to research hearsay. With some experts claiming this will give Kroger 50% of the market, and some hinting that they barely own a substantial part to begin with. I actually found 3 charts with very different information on who's dominating the grocery store market. The data behind these charts are hidden behind paywalls or hard to work with sources that I can't really dig deep into. On this chart, based on 2020 data, you'll clearly see that if anyone has a monopoly, it's Walmart, because they have 25% of the market. But it values Kroger at 8.1% and Albertsons at 4.8. Combined, they would get 12.9 control over the market. That's about an eighth, but it's a long ways away from the 50% claimed by some experts. What it is, though, is about a 50% increase of what they had before. You could consider that substantial, but I don't consider an eighth of the market substantial. Until they're big enough to actually compete with Walmart, I don't think it's an illegal merger or a monopoly. This chart is also supposedly 2020 data. Again, Walmart is the clear dominator of the market, and on this chart, Kroger and Albertsons are valued at 9.9 and 4.9 respectively, giving them a combined total of 14.8. Odd that there's different numbers, odd that it's still a 50% increase, and it's only about a seventh of the whole market now. Still not that big. Granted, it keeps them in second place by a larger margin, and that could be worrying for people trying to take down Kroger, but I think Kroger might just be trying to take down Walmart. This one, based on 2022 data, where Kroger is valued at 5.6%, and Albertsons isn't even on this chart. So let's imply that post-merger they'll still have 5.6%. That's abysmal. That's the newest data. The other 2 charts, although might be inaccurate, are from 2020. This one's from 2022 and also might be inaccurate. But still on this chart, Walmart is in the 20%, 25% range. That is crazy. So post-merger, I do not think they'll have a monopoly. I think, if anything, they'll be about the same where they were, just covering more of the United States. But let's imagine the merger does go through, it all happens. The biggest fear behind it is that it does create a monopoly, and the lack of competition leads to food prices increasing, and complications with employment causing layoffs and store closings. However, on the official site for the merger, KrogerAlbertsons.com, they make these promises to start expensive projects that will go into effect after the deal closes. $500 million towards reducing the price of groceries. $1.3 billion towards improving customer experience, and $1 billion towards wages and benefits. And also a target of 10 billion meals donated by 2030. Assuming Kroger holds their promises, in my book, these actions would make them a fellow warrior of the working class. even if they had to fight dirty to get them, this would absolutely help their employees, their shoppers, help people like us survive a little easier. If they don't hold their promises, and you should never expect a business to 100% carry out their promises ever, then they lied to you and they got a monopoly, and there's nothing we can do about it except keep pushing those lawsuits. But even if they do successfully get the monopoly and prices do increase, you will always have the power to vote with your dollar and go shop somewhere else. As for my opinion on this, I went into researching this expecting to easily dig up plenty of dirt on Kroger and Albertsons and be very confident that it was a merger and be real eager to spread this information with you. Like, how could they get away with this? And now I'm on the side of it could go either way. And I'm willing to bet that the promises will at least be held partially true and that food prices might come down. But I do expect no store closings because they aren't overlapping any territories as far as I know and should have no reason to. That's a crazy, bold statement that they might close. They're going to get more money out of this. Why would they close stores? I feel generally neutral about it. But if there's like three possibilities that could happen. The merger doesn't go through and they continue operating as they were. The merger goes through, they have a monopoly and they make things harder for us. Or the merger goes through and they hold out their promises and things get way better for us. I would like to believe option 3 happens. I think that's best. The one where the Kroger Albertsons merger goes through and it ends up helping us out as consumers and, bringing food prices down, making it easier to live. That is the best result. Now, you can have whatever opinion you want on this. I shared the information I found. You can do your own research. Actually, I encourage you to do your own research. More of you should. But if anything else happens substantially on this case, I will report on it. And I'm hoping for the best for everyone involved. Now, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe to help fight for the little guy. And share this video with anyone who might be interested in it. Please and thank you. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.